I guess in the world of boxing, it's not often someone can actually sit opposite a person who is an undisputed champion at their division. Today, I am doing that with Chris Johns, the Dragon. I cannot find any reason to dispute that you are probably the greatest boxer in the featherweight division ever. So, mate, I will say thank you for giving us the time today.
No worries.
It's interesting that you've. I'll cut to the chase. The most interesting thing I find about you is that you've chosen to come to Perth to train.
Yes.
And the reason for that, I understand, is because you physically can't find peace and quiet back in Indonesia. If you train back there, you're that much of a celebrity. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. For me, it's more like focused to train in Perth. Like just quiet and.
He dresses up in drag when in Indonesia in disguise, no?
Is that right? You have to disguise yourself back on the
yes,
not really. Just
yeah,
like if I'm just want to hurry up, just put like hats on, not really.
And glasses, hats, and he goes out. Otherwise, he's signing autographs all the time.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, but I'm alright. Like if I'm nothing important, really, I just use hat, cap, just normal walking. It's alright. Like to meet all my friends over there. I'm happy to meet them.
Because you made the move to Perth in 2008, is that correct? 2008, I think. No?
2004 or 5.
Oh, it's 2000.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was more recent than that. So, and that move to Perth,
yep.
has that? Do you think, because you've defended your title 15 times in a row?
Mm-hmm.
I'm failing to find anybody who's been able to do that in any division, but. Do you think you would be saying the move to Perth has allowed you to focus in on those defences? Has the move to Perth sort of expanded your career? It's made it longer?
Yeah, the main is to move to Perth. I found a good trainer, a good manager. That's important. Yeah. I mean,
That's
like.
Right. Well, I guess that is a key to bring in Craig Christian. You've how long have you been preparing Chris for fights?
Yeah, I've prepared him for every one of his defences. So since 2005, 7 years, 8 years now.
Wow, because I came down to watch him train yesterday and took some photographs. I've actually never seen a fighter smile so much during training.
Yeah, he's taking it a bit easy these days. I'm not too happy about that. But he seems to be taking. I've noticed that myself lately. I've got to get the whip out. I think because what's going on there, mate?
Yeah?
What's going on there?
Trying to be relaxed.
Maybe a little bit. No, when he jumps in the ring, it's a bit different. When it's time for action. When you see him now, he's got the glasses on. He's it just looks like Myron on the computer.
Yeah.
But then he jumps in the ring and it's made all out war. He holds nothing back.
No. Well, I've seen him in the. He was part of the card for the Danny Green Vlasic.
That's
He
right.
was the final fight, and well worth hanging around for too. It's sensational fight. Because I've always liked the lower weights, because I think that's where you see true technique. And you have got a very, very strong technique. Have you actually listened to Craig in any way, shape or form to modify your technique, or have you just stayed true to what you know and learnt back in Indonesia?
I just like when I'm in the gym, I just like listen my trainer said to me what I'm gonna do to fight this man or something like that.
Yeah.
So I just listen and try.
You try.
Yeah.
Well, it seems to be working for you. You've recently been named, now I've got to get this right, the WBA Fighter of the Decade. Now, that must have gone some way to silence critics of you fighting, because there have been critics who have said you don't take on the toughest opponents available, and you don't like to fight outside of Indonesia and all those sort of things. And I think Billy Dibb was one of the fellas who's been quite vocal about you not probably being the best fighter out there. Did that award sort of help to silence those critics, or?
For me, I fought anybody, like I just my job is training, like just to good fight in the ring. So every my opponent is up to my manager, my manager, my matchmaker.
Yeah, just on that, Chris will fight anyone that we put in front of him. But it's my job as a trainer and manager to make sure that when he gets out of boxing in a couple of years, I can make him as comfortable as possible financially. And what we're doing with Chris is just that, to make him as comfortable as we can financially. So, we'll fight anybody if they want to. We're the super champion. Chrisjohn's the super champion. So if they want to challenge the super champion, they got to come to the super champion's place and and take it off him. And besides that, if they did that, you'd make twice as much money, because the footage back to the pay-per-view back to America on a Sunday morning in Indonesia would be huge. So they make twice as much money and they come over there.
Yeah. Well, you did offer Billy Dibb a crack at Chris, and he knocked that back. Was that because the money wasn't right, or you guys?
They said they wanted to fight us. I think they were just using Chris's name to elevate themselves. But in the end, they didn't want to give us no money to come over and fight. And why should we leave where we're getting? Just say we're getting $10 for the fight. Why should we come over here and fight for $2?
Yeah. I mean, I can understand the argument, because I'm trying to think of an athlete I can equate Chris's success to. I mean, maybe Tiger Woods comes close as far as dominating your division. There is no argument for you to take an appearance fee pay cut to go fight someone who's lesser. They've got to come to you, and that's a strange thing for people to grasp. You are the marquee.
You can grasp it like this. Juan Manuel Marquez, he just had a very disputed loss against Manny Pacquiao maybe 3 months ago. Chrisjohn beat Juan Manuel Marquez and beat him quite well, so that's how you can judge it.
Yeah, and it also comes down to, because I look at it as protecting brand names. I mean, you're a brand name. You are an industry. Like, you need to protect your image as a fighter. So if you start fighting people are just way down the pecking order, that affects your brand. Is that a fair assessment, Craig?
It's all business, mate.
Yeah, it's business.
It's all business.
Yeah, you're the business and you're the athlete. So, have you ever asked Craig why you weren't fighting a particular fighter? Have you ever questioned a decision made by Craig about who you're fighting?
I chosen Craig to be my manager.
Yeah.
So I trust him to pick my opponent. So I believe he give me the best way for me for my career and something like that.
Because you wouldn't like to fight people who aren't up to the mark. I mean, you don't want easy opponents, do you? You are selective. You want good, hard, solid fights.
Yeah, but not only me. We must Craig and me must talk together. And
he wants to fight the best. He gets into me. Come on, I want to fight this. Did you see what they say about me in the paper and on the internet and that? He gets a bit upset that they say stuff like that, because he'll fight anybody. But I'm the one with a couple of others that make the decision, and I have to explain to him why we're not fighting him. We're getting this much to fight here in Jakarta. They only want to give us this much and go out of our comfort zone for less money. It's not, it's not economics.
Yeah.
It's
not
viable.
Yeah, and I'm sorry I'm harping on a few of the negative comments about your career and your fighting here, but this is a chance to answer them, I guess, because I can't see that they actually make any pay. Some of the comments, like one of them is that you're not comfortable fighting out of your base country. So it was Indonesia, and now they're saying Australia. But you're headed overseas. You're back into Southeast Asia for an upcoming match. So are you afraid to fight overseas at all?
Nah, I fought in America.
He's fought America,
in
Japan, Australia.
Yeah.
Bad decisions in Australia, mate, I'll tell you. Where else?
Yeah.
More than that. Fought in America twice. We went over and fought. We signed with Golden Boy at one stage, and they said, you know, you got to come over and fight this bloke. It was Rocky Juarez. He just fought Marco Antonio Barrera. We went and fought him. They give us a draw where we clearly won the fight. We rematched him in America again 3 months later, and we clearly beat him. That was on the Mayweather-Marquez undercard.
Yeah.
So, you know, he'll fight anywhere. It's just the right opportunities. He's getting the most money in Indonesia at the moment. You know?
Well, that's enough of that. I mean, I just like to clear the air with people who say, well, you didn't ask this question.
That's good.
It gives you a chance to explain it. So, the upcoming fight, you want to walk us through that one? The opponent you're coming up against, has he got any chance of beating you?
No, you know, like boxing, you never know, you never know, you know, like just, you know, like I need.
Yeah, he trains the same for every opponent.
Yes, I'm training.
He trains. So if he was fighting Marquez or Pacquiao tomorrow, he'll train the same.
Yep.
Exactly the same as for this opponent that not many people know, but he was a world champion at super bantamweight. So, and he's taken a year off competitive boxing, but trained for a year to move up the weight to featherweight, and then he just beat the number 2 contender, so he got the shot at Chris. So he isn't mucking around, you know. The boy's very. I seen him at the press conference, very confident, very, very confident. But he'll train the same for him as anybody else.
Yes, but he's coming up against the Dragon.
Yeah, and the Dragon Punch, the new punch.
So is there what is the career? Have you with Craig? Have you mapped out how much longer you will stay in the industry or in the sport as a professional boxer? Have you got, I don't know, another 5 years? Are you going to defend the title 20 times?
That long. We have planned.
Yeah, 19 times is the record. Chris has held the title the longest, but not defended it as many times as I forgot his name, but 19 times. I think Chris has got 4. We're going to have 5 more fights, and hopefully they're all at the Marina Bay Sands Resort there, and he'll retire undefeated as the best featherweight of all time, Hall of Fame. So that's what we're aiming for anyway.
So it's 5 fights or the next loss. Is that a fair assumption, or?
No, we don't think about losses. We don't think about loss. Loss is bullshit with Chrisjohn.
Yeah.
He won't lose. He fights for his country when he fights. That's the first thing I noticed about Chris in our first couple of fights together, that he don't fight for himself and that. He fights for his country, and he takes it pretty personal. There's a big weight on his shoulders when from Indonesia, which it's a big load for both of us, you know. So
I can actually see he's getting serious now.
He won't lose. When you talk about his country, he gets serious. Yeah.
So is that? Look, I'll go back to it. That's a huge pressure. Because you are mobbed on the streets. You're a superhero over there, and every time you step into the ring, you're carrying the hopes of Indonesia, aren't you?
Yeah. That's why, you know, like
every person, mate.
That's why
the whole country stops when he fights.
I try best, you know, like I'm training hard, and you know, like I don't want to disappoint my people over there. So try hard.
I couldn't even fathom that. I mean, I had some success in a sport. I swam for my country, but and I knew I was swimming for my country, but I didn't. I knew also that swimming is not the only sport in Australia. Boxing is one of the few sports in Indonesia that's followed with a huge amount of passion. So, do you ever step out of a ring and think you have disappointed your home country?
No, he gives 100% all the time, mate. All the time. After every fight, the president rings us up. He rings Chris up. He says, "You and Craig come in, and we run it." And they do a big thing. We meet the president.
Sorry,
it's unbelievable.
I'm assuming you're saying the president of.
President of Indonesia. That's right.
President of Indonesia rings you after every major fight.
Yeah. Chris come in, bring Craig in, and they do a big parade through the city, and I'm shaking the president's hand.
I couldn't imagine that. Just I can't even fathom a call from the president. I couldn't have fathomed the call from the prime minister after a swim or doing something. So, mate, good luck. You don't want to disappoint those people.
Not many world champion in Indonesia, though. That's why.
All right, well, mate, look, I won't hold you much longer because I know you've got to shoot off to another training session, but thanks very much for your time and all the
No
best for your upcoming bout.
Thank you.
And, 5 to go, and then you can retire.
That's right.
Excellent. Thanks.
Thanks.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.